Hi everyone, it's Jen from Mind's Eye. So we're gonna do the weekly look into the unknown about obscurities. And you have to excuse me, my allergies are acting up a little bit today. But and all is known, all is known. So when we do this, and we have to say like all is about and all is a know about, just know, just don't even go there. You have to say what is really hidden, even behind one word, even behind the word no. So when I look at it and it's the way you say no, it is the way you hear it, it's the way you feel it, it's the way it stays in the back of your mind, and the way it does and does about, like a go about order. So when I look at it and I actually have to say all is well, I have to say a divvy out is a must know, but MUS. For someone like me who's does magician, you have to say that MUS is actually like a combination of dragon's blood, resin, incense. It is frankincense. It's also basil. So when I look at it and I burn it in ritual, all becomes known. KNOWN. It reveals itself. Chemistry and physics, mathematics, and everything that is about doing a ritual actually comes in to the point of known, meaning NOAN, NOWN, which means it's highly concealed. You can see it, but you can't do anything about it. It like you can see it, like I foresee it, but it's still not clear. So when you actually look at how it is scientifically, it all combines with clear matter to opaque matter with positive ion. And that concoction per se, if you however you want to say it, is negative ion, like a huge sledgehammer that comes through and breaks the block. But why would clear matter and opaque matter actually create a block so hard? You have to say, what kind of lock is this? Is this black magic? Is it white magic? Is it green magic? Do I need to light a candle? Do I need to do anything like that? So when I'm looking at it and I say, I don't really have to do any rituals and I don't have to do anything hard whatsoever, but all of a sudden it's right there in my face. That means it is so unknown to in your face of impulsivity of whatever is not supposed to be near you that you have to do it hard. So when you actually do anything hard, like you let a candle show me the truth, anyway, which way you say that, you burn your incense, you say a prayer, whichever how you practice on keeping like anything that's not supposed to be in your living space away in type of spiritual practices. They have to say, where did it come from? Because it doesn't sit well. And well is really your torso, it's your whole torso. Literally, when you go and you look at your back, that is the gaff, GAF. So the gap is where they actually do a cut. And when they actually do a cut, it's really hard to explain when you're being initiated into a coven or anything like that because it is cut, it is energy thrown to you, but it's almost like the energy is put onto your back to see how it will go. So let's actually go right through it. Let me give a good example. So when you see the gaff and you they put it on your back, this energy, it's meant for you to go about around like 30 to 45 days. And they see how you tolerate because it's supposed to increase everything. like your like muscle tone, your physical tolerance to energy. So when I'm looking at an obscurity and I'm looking at the occult, that pressure slams so hard that you have to sustain and withstand like everything and be so still like normal and say yeah. But when me, and usually only do it once in your soul history, a gaffe, it sticks with you, it hardens your soul, that you look and you have to say, what is keeps slamming me in my friend so bad where we can't recover at days. It's so hard where you're sitting there and you're saying, I think I need to go back to the doctor and get an antibiotic. That is where it's really hard to understand. So, last week we were looking into, at least on the Be It Be episode, on what the ceiling effect was. Tonight really was the gap. It is the cut. It is the uh, BEATI, B, beat, B. And it's pronounced differently usually. It depends on the accent, but really it is the cut here. So you have first you get your cut on your back because your back is the strongest with the trapezius muscle. Then you get it here. And this is meant for you to stay home for about 3 to 4 months and rest. Like it's a at rest order. Your position, usually within the coven, usually comes in and checks you. So that would be a witch doctor. They understand everything. Now, that is so traditional, but now when you look at it, you say, I got a witch doctor. You're looking at all the stigmata and the stigma and the hearsay about what a witch doctor is. Now, when I first learned it, as generations passed down, a witch doctor is someone who comes in, does magic, does a healing more ways than one. So when I actually feel my heels kind of slide forward, I'm telling someone who I did a cleansing and a clearing to slow down. It's like an automatic heart intuition. And then when that happens, you can't even believe, like they just go, uh-oh. Usually I hear, no, I'm not supposed to do that. So when it comes to that, also, you're also filling in gaps because usually they have been hit with energy so hard, they're loose in their body. And it's a very good example with those who've been deployed before or they've sustained like hard trauma, maybe 9/11, the federal building like Ted Kaczynski or anything like that, that the explosion or a car accident is so hard that they actually have broken bones. They're kind of not really the best at mobility or dexterity anymore. They're kind of not cognizant of what's going on with them. Those are the ones that are like, you need PTOT speech, you need home care orders. And they're like, no, 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 I'm fine. They're highly impulsive. So when you see it and you have to say, maybe you actually need to do a little bit of Reiki. Maybe you actually need to do a little bit of this. And they're like, no, no, no. And then all of a sudden you're like, what came out of your mouth? You got to be out of your mind. They're not thinking straight. Not at all. So when I'm going back to how it's obscured, you don't know what it is until it's in their face, until you see something. So, for example, I had a family member who came home recently within the last year from a deployment. Literally, you have to look at their behavior. You have to say, what are they doing over there? Because why would you spend that much money all of a sudden when you have to pay all these bills still? And they're like, no, like I deserve it. Yeah, I understand that, but look at your pay. And so when I have to say, you know, attuning and aligning and clearing and cleansing and looking like what's upon, what's within, looking at their eyes, it's a whole different, but it's okay. They can go back to work in 6 weeks. Absolutely normal. Absolutely. They really need almost, like from what I was talking with multiple people, almost 3 to 9 years to act normal again. So when they get a little hypervigilant, like anyone else, you actually have to pace yourself with them. So here I am. I'm actually looking like a lazy bum my days, but I'm sitting with family members going, I'm going to go take a nap. I'm going to go do this. Never mind what else is going on because I'm a homeschooling parent. And then you have to learn how to do unschooling. So let's actually look about what is going on with the obscurities that we've been picking up on for a while. It really is known. Like you already know. It's right there in your face. And I say, I just don't see it. And I say, you're not meant to see it then. You're not meant to see it until it's right there. All of a sudden it's there. And it's usually a whim or a free will choice on somebody else's behalf that changes. And it's called true fate. True fate. It's not written. It's not destiny. It's not anything like that. All of a sudden they just make a choice and they say, nope, you're going over here. You're just going to do this. So here it is. Here it is said. Here we go. So the Queen of Swords is really saying that you need to cut away with anything that is just not normal in your routine. And it has to do with weather patterns. It really does, on what's going to come through. Like I said, it's like 219 to 329. Something faded comes in on a 321. And then on the count, something is sitting in the road saying, just go, just go, just go. So when I see this and I see the Ace of Cups, you have to say, you've got to use your intuition. You've got to use your logic. You've got to use your instinct, and up to if you are a little psychic. Because when I say, I really didn't have to do anything today except a few loads of laundry and do my dishes and help my children, support like whatever issue was their behavior today, that they needed it. That's all it was, because everything else is unsecured. So I'm really not going to do much outside my house nor inside my house, because I have to watch and be the ears on everything when you're dealing with this. There's like this like type of hypervigilance that has come through, especially by watching how everything is playing out in the media. It is such a hard, sharp ending with this obscurity of what is to be this unveiling that you can't even see, but it really is a halt. Stop. All of a sudden, it's a halt. Stop. It's going to cause chaos. We've already had 3 instances per se, but really it was 4. I see 8, and everyone goes, there's something going on. There it was. It chiseled away a little bit. Money, yeah, there's something about definitely a loss of money. It's happy about losing money. And 2 cards came out. Destabilization of all forms of communication that's not looked into or not studied. It will give a finality of relief. Like once it happens, everyone's like, yep, there it was. There it was. That's what we were looking for. And honor actually comes out. Like sitting proudly comes out. It was so young and manifested of something like hard. And I do see the coin, but I don't see it actually on the table. I see it in the hand. And at the end, walking in through a door, it's in the pocket. Right pocket. So when I see this and I see stone face apathy, it's going to cause a pause, a limbo. So looking at this, This literally has to do with a type of legal form that comes through that you can't see or say, or down to the ocean, the sea. So as we go through this and as we go about, I have to say all goes about and known about to be a bay. It means be a bay from each other until the day of the say, of the lay, of the bay, of the day, of the say, day, nay, lay, dee. So in translation, it means stay away from each other, be mindful of what you're doing with each other, be mindful of your words and your actions, how you plan your day out at times. You're going to feel it. And then it'll actually go down like looking like ocean. And then it'll look at like judicial and legal. And then it'll look at everything that you just can't even see it. See it. You can't even do like continuing education on it. And then when it actually goes to it, you can't even believe the words that come out of people's mouths. You go, what is going on right here? Right here. You go and you look at it so hard that you can't even be about. Like I said, I see a radio, I see a group of people, I see people going like this for cars and saying, it's coming in, it's coming in. You can't believe it. All right. Let's dig a little bit. Let's dig. Here we go, right off the bat. Archangel Raphael. It's going to see it and it's going to say it. It's the ocean. Something about, because I also kept hearing, you can't fathom it. You can't fathom it. The chess game goes, there's no game, but you can see the pawn to the knight trying to go to the queen. But really, it goes, I don't know why I hear a puck. A puck. The Master Artesian goes in reverse. There's no creativity to it, but it was creatively about like an offering of flowers or roses or like an offering. It has a lot of diversity. It's very confusing when this large scale event happens. Don't know when it is, how it is, unknown year, but it's right there in the face. So I see Hilarion, and I actually have to say, there is no continuance on. It really is like almost a takeaway. Anything that has to do with initiation, you can't see it. All of a sudden, you reel it back on a reverse. Highly fated meetings. People who wouldn't have like met each other in this life are going to meet. Like this fated meeting, let me see. It's like if you're at a gas station and you start talking to somebody and you just hit it right off and you build a relationship. Like it's so on a whim. So on a whim. So when you see it, you can't like reverse the creativity because this is birth in reverse. And I don't know why I keep hearing click, 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 click. It's like a shutter valve that comes on. When I'm looking at obscurity, I don't see black. I see white gray lock, which means black magic with green magic with yellow to lock it. So when you look at it, actually flowers will unlock it, but then it goes to like a type of lock. It's like a puzzle lock. It's really hard to explain, but usually those are the ones that are centuries old. You're trying to find a mystery and you're trying to find where it fits because nothing is showing up. Because this increscent moon looks at it in this card, and it says you're sitting there and studying, and you're looking at the moon, and you say, this like snow moon, winter moon coming through has this yellow orange tint to it, which means it had a hint of Jupiter. It means it's going to slam. It usually comes in harder, but it's very, very soft. Very soft. It's not clear energy though. Not clear. What is like planets hiding? All right, what are the planets hiding? They don't want us to see this right now because it is meant to be seen as it happens and after. You get a detail of just a few words and then it was already done. It's definitely not universal correction. It is a like a farm form of a done to almost like you're baking bread. That you go, this 10 of Cups is going to cause a lot of discontent. A lot of discontent. King of Swords, it will come through legal, it will come through judicial and military contracts, but I'm really not seeing the paper. I'm really not. This Knight of Pentacles in reverse is going to come through. I'm not seeing it happening, at least in my state, which is Connecticut, but I do see it in the middle. It starts in the United States, but it looks like a star, like a sun, and it like the rays come out and you don't know where it's going to land, but I see five spots. Here we go. Wheel of Fortune. It literally is like a Wheel of Fortune. You're sitting there and you're watching the game show, and you go, there it is. There's the spoke wheel. You just drop it right down, and wherever it lands, it's good. The Seven of Wands goes, it really was kind of not the best of detail, but when I see the horse come through the road, what's going on? Why do they keep talking about catalytic converters again? When I see this and I see Four of Wands, there's no celebrating. There's no getting together. It's an odd form of a feeling, but it's confirmed. It's highly nasty. Highly nasty that comes through. You just don't know what comes through. I see it and I see balance come through. And I see Page of Wands come through. But I see this Ace of Wands. It literally means like this balance of fiery young energy comes in and is such a put out to no start at all that it has nasty. This is the Empress in reverse. There's nothing, like it's really nasty female energy that just doesn't sit well. I see people actually out and about not feeling the best, but they just gotta help. They just have to help. Just don't know what it is. It could be a positive, it could be a negative, it could be a red or a blue or a bly to an ablation. All right, let's go a little softer. What else about obscurities? I'm seeing the barns and I'm seeing the agriculture, I see the hay, I see like the red tin, like a milk tin. And when you pick it up, you trip and you see a rock and you're like, what's wrong with this soil? What's wrong with the dirt? It's dry. Why is it dry? I mean, when you look at it and you look at the snow and after it melts and it dries because it froze, it just doesn't make sense. It does not make sense. That's the propel forward. That is the hard propel forward. As a lot of energy has loosened since last week, everyone will know what to do. I see the numbers 5, 8, 12, 9, 8, 4, but really I see 38 people. 38 people. And then when I see it, I say the Knight of Wands in reverse means first they sit and they stay and they're just studying because there really is no sense of danger or anything like that on their properties. They're just going about. But when I look at it, the Eight of Wands, there's no communication. It like stops. Like all of a sudden you sit there and you're like, no, I'm not picking up the phone. I'm not texting you back. I'm not doing anything. Three of Wands literally means you foresaw it so hard. Foresaw it. Three of Pentacles comes in and says, this works so hard together as a team that you couldn't even see it. The Four of Pentacles has no securement. Let's see what they mean in securement. I see 48 people. Like lack of securement. It's like if you've been in the Navy, a type of gaffling rope, which is what they use at port, that you can't see it come unravel until it's right there and you're like, oh, look at that. We really can't use that right now. It was highly like trickery conjured so well that you can't see it coming. You can't see it coming. It alleviates difficulty though. It makes no sense. It makes no sense whatsoever. The world in reverse is going to be like, I can't even complete like any cycles. I can't finish any work. I hear them like hiccups and like gastric reflux, and I see them like kind of just as small little burps every so often. And you go, there's no honor though. There's no honor. And then when you look at it and you see the balance, you say, you're imbalanced. You're highly imbalanced. When I look at the Emperor though, it's very sitting solid. Like they sit so well with masculine energy. You can't even understand it. You can't even. Like they're like, no. Like I trust. That's good. It's good. All right. What else? Really all like this. We just had the full moon. Now we're going to go into the new moon. The stars are so pronounced that it's going to cause a little bit more frequency haywire, where it's just like your typical winter of February and March, where it's, yep, here we go. We got more snow coming. We have more ice. We had a blizzard. We had this going on. But when I'm actually looking at sections of the country, one is more of a road. The other one is more of a solid to almost like so solid it sinks. As far as like agriculture, like soil, the growth, really not a well. And that's when I say, all right, that's when it, like everything is blocking up. Everything is blocking up. All right. Because it's in my face saying, don't you dare say any more. Like I said, I don't do fear mongering. I don't do warmongering. I see it as a psychic medium and as the cards are telling me what's going on. Let's see. With that type of magic, I keep wanting to do this, that you have to look at it and you have to say, in order to protect yourself from that magic, it would be lighting a candle for relaxation and any type of incense that you prefer, once or twice a week, until it is clear on what has happened in your life or in the collective. I see it more within a week, but I see it highly in your face on 21912, 419 row, 319 row, which is like a type of airplane. It's odd, like energy of airplanes flying over. And that's all you need to know. I don't see anything scary. I just look at it like, oh, it's just a normal day. And then I see, oh, look at that. Look at that. There it is. You don't know what it is until it's in your face. So with that being said, that's really all I have to say. It really was a little bit more harsh. It was more blunt and more like sharp and cut to the point, but it really fell down more about a ceiling effect, like a box ceiling effect. And I just don't know what it is until next week. So with that being said, any questions or concerns, or likes, comments, leave an email, leave a comment. A like and a share is greatly appreciated, and we'll talk to you soon. Have a good night, everyone.